Hello, everybody, and this is Leech. Hopefully, your soon-to-be new friend. Today, I want to cover with you a couple of things for starting out, whether you're new to Conan Exiles or returning, hearing that there's a new expansion about to come out. Also, hopefully, we'll answer a couple of questions, including should I buy Conan Exiles in 2020? With that said, we'll go ahead and start. Character selection is phenomenal. You're able to choose everything from your facial types, skin tones, various eyebrow, facial hair types, eyeshadows. Some are a little bit more risque than others. I'll give you that. In addition to that, you can choose your voice. So,
Calm me down, please.
if you want to be kind of strong or
Down, please.
maybe a little bit more
Is coming.
desperate, or
Death is coming.
maybe you like to hold your coffee or tea glass with your pinky up.
Death is coming. The gods.
Wow, that was definitely like Jafar style, right? So, in addition to that, you have customization like everywhere with jaw lines, chin lines, with scale sizes, thickness of your brow, lips, eye spacing. So there's a lot of great features here. In addition to the character itself for customization, you can also choose amongst, I believe, like 14 races and 6 religions. Keep in mind, depending upon the server type that you're on, the religion could play a big factor in whether or not you want to choose something specifically for the god that you can summon. For now, we're going to go ahead and go with Crom, who really doesn't care about anybody and isn't going to be summoned. With that said, we'll go ahead and confirm away. Alright, so just starting off, you're going to find yourself in the Big Sandy. Oversized dunes and, of course, not a whole lot else. Or at least at first you would suspect. So to start off, we're going to open up our map by hitting Elm, and if you look across the bottom here, there's about 6 locations that you can spawn, spanning across the bottom here. If we move north, we're going to come to some waterways where a lot of new players, or just starting off on a map, will quickly start trying to build up. When you're first starting off, one of the first things I always suggest is definitely look at the top right hand side of your screen. If you have this configured the same, which just joining in, you're probably going to have it set this way. You can either look at the first few things that come up, or you can press J. Since this game doesn't have necessarily a story, unless if there's something that's put together by the server that you're on. But if you're playing single player, you're probably not going to have much of a story other than the things that you unlock by discovering them. Which is going to lend some stories to characters or to areas or about the environment. So, while we're over here, gather everything that you can, grab some rocks, also talk to that first stone that you see. Yes, I did say talk to the stone. While you're there, go ahead and climb that stone by double tapping spacebar. C will let you back down, and already we're knocking out some of these journey steps. Now, early on, something that I see a lot of times it's missed, I didn't even know about it until about the 3rd or 4th time I joined a server and had to restart. Over here, and every one of these are going to be a little different, or rather 2 or 3 of them will be the same, 1 or 2 will be different. But if you check out the rocks and formations nearby, you're going to find first a letter. After that, you're going to see a nice water skin there. So we're going to go ahead and press I, drop that water skin down.
Some of them try to scrape a life from the wasteland.
And also, take time to check out the local decorations. I figure if they had to work so hard to put them up, we might as well enjoy them. So pressing E, gather yourself some plant fiber. Also, while you're gathering that plant fiber, you're also going to get insects. I know they're not very appetizing, but that's going to be your first amount of food. And mentioning food, yeah, like many survival games, this is going to put it into perspective. So if you look at your upper left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see a red bar indicating your life, a yellow bar indicating your stamina just below that, and below that you're going to see 4 circles. So starting on the outer left-hand side, you're going to have water, followed by that is food, weight, then temperature. So if your food or water drops too low, guess what? You start to die. If your weight is too high and your stats aren't set up yet or not set up to carry all the loot that you want, then guess what? You're going to move slower. You might have issues climbing or jumping. And if your temperature gets too hot or too cold, not only will you start losing health, but you're also going to be losing ability to climb because you'll be taking damage. We'll go ahead and start running on towards the riverways, and we'll show you some more awesome features. Alright, so we've made it from the sand dunes down south, and we've crossed over to this nice little lush area. Still got a little sand, but it's not too shabby. Bit of an oasis of sorts. While here, make sure to use that water skin I told you about. Get good into the water and grab yourself a good drink. That's also going to help you out with completing one of those journey steps. Also, eat one of those bugs. That's going to give you a hand with completing another and giving you some more XP. While en route here, you should have gained some XP as well from discovering an area or two. On my way here, I got the Shattered Bridge and also had another area show up while I was just a little south of that. Crossing your waterways, just be mindful. You're going to see some NPC humans. If you're playing PvP, there's very likely going to be some humans that could be other players that can be friendly, or hey, they could be there to troll. In addition to that, there's going to be some alligators, some of our big turtle buddies, and across this ridgeway, you're probably going to come across some beautiful, beautiful hyenas and amongst other types of creatures. Most of the time, you're going to be able to outrun most of your foes. So, as we're going, I always just suggest continue moving, try to maintain some sense of forward motion, and don't just hold on that shift bar to sprint. Give yourself little breaks, rebuild that stamina, and you're going to be good. As you can tell in the background, if you play with the music on, you're going to hear some things that's going to indicate if somebody's coming after you. Now, for today, we're going to be heading a little further north while getting attacked. These are thralls, non-playable characters that are going to be scattered throughout. There's going to be several different types of clans, ranging from looters, my fellow friends here, Zingarans, Defari, the Northmen, Chimerians, and more. The good thing is you're going to be able to outrun everything. Just, again, be mindful of how long you're running. Keep that forward motion. One of the key things I can explain for today is base location. Be real mindful of that base location. So now we're running straight north, and as you see, very minimal problems. Going to eat a little bit, and if you notice regeneration popped up, that's going to help refill that health bar. And as you continue to level, there are things that you can do to increase your life, passive regeneration, and also increase your health gains by using food and healing potions, wraps, first aid kits, things of that nature. So, at some point, if you go ahead and reach your pinky down, or if you're playing with the controller, figure out how to kick. For those playing on a keyboard, just pressing in on that control will do the trick for you. Also, to dodge, you can press Alt. Do yourself a favor, please take note that these actions do cost energy. So, they can impact how easy it is to react if you start getting injured. On your way up here, you're going to see different types of plants that you can pick, one of which is a yellow lotus. Please be mindful, lotus as well as aloe, desert berries, winter berries, all these things can be found in various areas and come in handy to make different recipes for each region that can prove to be beneficial. Alright, so while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and stop long enough to check my map. And if you notice, we started down here and already we're midway up the Snaking River. If you want to figure out exactly where I'm at, I'm just following along. I started off at F, I followed the Snaking River into E, and I'm going to continue following that into this green lush area. So while we're over here and we're in a safe spot to take a little break, let's go ahead and start up some crafting of necessary items. Some of your basic items, like twine, that's needed to make your fiber bedroll, you can craft in series of 10. So I'm just going to let this play through, and then I'm going to craft up a bedroll. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and craft 2 of these bad boys. Alright, so another one of our journey steps was to craft and place a bedroll. So, once you've placed it, unlike playing Ark without S+, you can just hold E on that and then pick it up. These black rocks here is coal. Eat a little bit to help regen the health as well as your stam. And some people just tell you to just run, but to be fair, you really don't have to. I'm certain you can tell I'm having a pretty easy go with this and not many issues. And in fact, while you're on your way to where you want to go, you can even go ahead and farm yourself up some iron stone. Now, as I said earlier, when you become over encumbered, you begin moving slower. So right now, I am actually holding in the run button, and I am getting nowhere fast. See if I'm still over encumbered. Oh, I'm good. Costed me some coal, but not really necessary at this point. Alright, so we're now hitting an area that's going to be our bread and butter. So through here you're going to see a large bridge, and that's going to take you into the Northlands. Now if you go too far north, you'll notice that some of the map becomes white, That's because there is, in fact, snow. So you're going to get tropical, deserty, swampy marshlands to the east, more Sahara style elements to the far south, as well as to the west. And then you'll get some semi oasis-y areas heading through the middle of the map into the Northlands. The Northlands offer kind of like a mix of plains entering into cold areas. Alright, so your biggest foes that you're going to see is if you stick close to the river, down that way where you see all those teeth sticking out of the mountain like fingers, there's a cave with some spiders in it. Along this riverside, you're going to see plenty of spiders, snakes, not so much snakes, alligators. And you'll also see these big monitor or Komodo style dragons. Oh, spider. The Komodo style dragons will spit at you. When they hit you with that spit, it will cause a degenerating effect as well as cripple. So this is definitely an area to kind of stick and shoot through. Be mindful of your stamina, unlike I'm currently doing, and you'll be a-okay. And as you can tell already, discover another area, gaining additional skill points. In this brief moment, and this is very standard levels that I've been playing at, everything here is very vanilla that I'm currently doing. We'll open up our bar real quick, and I've already got 13 unused skill points. That's just from discovering, crafting a few items, and running. So through here, you're going to find some tigers and elephants, as well as rhinos. Do yourself a big favor, run. Elephants as well as tigers are very aggressive. The rhinos are also not very friendly. But a cool thing about this is if you look over here, there's baby elephants. You can actually press E on one of them, pick them up, and if you've built an animal taming pen, you can actually tame that. Oh, why don't you love me? Alright, so we're almost where we want to go. I'm just going to stop up here for a few moments and back up to Diagro. So our new kitty cat friends have ran to do their thing, and we're going to return the favor and head over. In fact, while we're here, hopefully, we'll be able to make it up here pretty easily. You'll notice that there's these chests. So I'm going to see if I can get right on top of it. So there's these loot chests scattered around the map. You can get some pretty decent gear out of it. Named weapons. Including everything from swords, spears, daggers, shields. The unfortunate part is you have to be, I believe, level 60 before you can get them. Also, you have to find these items in actual other chests. Oh. Or by killing bosses, lower leveled bosses that are going to be found along this map. And again, another area learned, and through here we're not going to have any foes. So if you're wondering where this is, right at the Shattered Basin's point, or point of interest shown on the mini map, or on the larger map, if you follow G straight up, so we started off at F, we came around the Snaking River here, and we chose to come up through Bone Picker's camp and around. You can also follow this waterway into a marshland where there's a boss croc, and then climb through and around. Just be mindful because stamina, if you happen to get into a fight, that facing can be a little bit more difficult to get up. So Bone Picker's camp might be the way for you. But while we're here, we'll go ahead, touch subject on some attribute points. So as you're going through, a lot of people are going to immediately, oh, I need to live longer. Oh, I need more strength. Maybe I need to run a little bit longer. All these are great things, but initially you're going to want to build up. You're going to want to obtain items to build a house, to build weapons and better armor. You're going to want to loot and kill villages, for Christ's sakes. So, real simple, I always say go for some encumbrance. It doesn't have to be super high, but I would suggest getting some into that. Maybe work on your encumbrance as well as some vitality. The purpose for that is there's going to be different builds that you can play if you want to go that far. But if you're looting all the time, eventually maxing out that encumbrance can not only help you out with battles. So at tier 3, right here, you get pack mule, which increases your carry weight by 10% in addition to whatever it's built up to at that point. Deflection at the next tier. Crippling effects at your second tier alone are diminished. And at the final tier, you don't lose momentum when over encumbered, which means you can run at full speed. If you unlock double jump by maxing out your agility, you're in awesome shape. You're still going to be able to do that and carry until your inventory is absolutely beyond full. So vitality, real important thing is if we're going to be fighting, you definitely want to get your vitality up at least to the 3rd tier. So fierce vitality means that you're going to passively regain health when not in combat. Now the next step is receptive, increasing your healing effects of consumables by 100%. At least tier 3, if not tier 4, is phenomenal if you're battling constantly. The final step is maxing out your vitality is great, especially again if you're going for a more brutish build or you really want to be super tanky. Maxing out vitality and souping up strength can make you pretty beefy and difficult to take on. But look through each of these, hover them, and see what you can get out of it. There's even builds that are just nothing but sure-footed and high encumbrance with a large amount of vitality so that they can carry bombs, glass orbs, and just burning gas villages, as well as other players, unfortunately. So we're going to go ahead and continue our journey northward. So through here, you're going to want to be watchful of a couple things. Wolves, mainly. Wolves are the devil, and they will chase you for a good amount of distance sometimes. Just starting out, not having your agility maxed isn't necessarily going to get you killed, but it's not going to help you succeed. So just watching that stam, run for short periods, stay in front so that they're not on top of you, and periodically eat a handful of them insects. Picking on all these shrubs as you're going through is again a definite easier way to ensure your success. And you can hear the music still playing as I picked up that white wolf that we just barely seeing in the back of my screen. Now, if you look to the left, there's a little baby foal. So we got a baby horse over there. Ooh, I'm sundered. And I think we've made it a-okay and in one piece, if not just a little dirtier. So just like that baby horse we seen earlier and the elephant I pointed out to you just a few minutes ago, you can just go over to it, press E, and pick it up. Once you get established in a nice location, you're in phenomenal condition to start building up a few different things. One of which is a thrall, a lesser pane of wheel to tame thralls. And yet another is going to be an animal taming pen. They're not necessary. Horses can help out, and they're pretty fun and squirrely to ride on. Alright, so currently you're going to see that we're over here in the area of G10. G10 is one of my favorite areas to start off at. One, we have water to the south of us as well as to the north of us. One of my favorite thrall camping spots is just a block away in this big circle here. We have a couple of thrall camps through here named thralls spawning here in G, over in H. A couple other potential named thralls and various crafting thralls just at the edge of G and H. And then straight across from that circle, you'll see some towers where additional named thralls can spawn. Also, that gives you a quick means to accessing as you level all of your fur gear. That way you can cross over here to the colder areas and obtain yourself higher tier materials such as black ice, so that you can quickly and easily upgrade your bases. And if that's not enough, this area offers one of the key items that you want, metal. And not just a little bit of metal. I mean, this is a lot of metal. A lot. And it spans all the way around through here. I believe there's a little bit more off to the other side. And there is. Plus all the rock that you're going to get from this. You have access to trees, which as you continue to make weapons, you can obtain bark. And to be fair, again, we have caves up north, dragons up north, quick access to various ways of getting to the swamplands and portaling over quickly. A couple of bosses. And, of course, did I forget to mention, close proximity to named thralls. Okay, so for this section, one of the things I would really like to discuss is base building. So you're just getting started out. Let's discuss a little bit about what kind of game are you playing? Are you playing a solo game, PvE, or are you on a public server? Are you on private servers? Is it PvE, PvP? Is there some opportunities for conflict? Do they have base damage turned on, or is it select hours? These are some of the things that you really want to look at. And as we move forward, if you like the content and if there's any other things that you would like me to discuss, like maybe different building styles, defense for purchase or defense against other players, feel free, hit that like, subscribe, comment down below. I'm not going to encourage anybody to hit the bell, but if you'd like to know when new things are coming out, feel free. With that said, one of my favorite spots to play in, if it's a small server or if it's a mid-sized server and available, is again over here in G10. So we're just a little bit to the left of the waterway. And there's this wonderful insert inside of this rock face. This is a perfect spot to build a base. Like, you fortify the exterior, you build out. Maybe you're in a clan that's a little bit larger, or the rates are turned up and you could really get materials. You could build this whole exterior out, destroy all these trees, and like create like a huge courtyard, a throne area on the exterior, defense towers with archers, and then going in, you create stairs, multiple doors, and honeycomb your way in. It's multiple walls and doors that people have to blow through in order to even gain access. Alright, so I'm going to bring us back south a little bit further in G. And hello, baby horsey. As you can see, there's some pretty nice flat land here. So if there's issues with clipping for any reason, or maybe your server that you're on is a friend's or someone you know, and the resources aren't as high, so you don't want to foundation spam everywhere, great. But there's a few wonderful locations here, still close proximity to water, plenty of trees, shrubs, metal not very far away. And guess what? Plenty of area to build up, secure yourself, and you're still close to named thralls. So again, this is right on the cusp of G and F9. Alright, so this is going to bring us over here to the further east. Another great location to build, not only because it's beautiful, but it's more junglish. You're near, again, some named thralls, some great locations for taming thralls. But guess what? You also have the opportunity to do something that's pretty beautiful. So if you're into the whole building aspect, whether it's for functionality and it's pretty plain Jane, or you really like lavish items, not only can you get cliff platforms, and but you can also, in these larger trees like this, build up them. One of the locations I really like to build at is a small island at L5. So be mindful, depending upon how far up you build, and removing things from the opposite side of this tree so that you don't disrupt the cooks and the other thralls that can spawn here. But if you build up with foundations, periodically giving yourself rest points, you can build some pretty elaborate items up in this tree, as well as several others here, without bothering the spawn below. And then just building out and creating an elevator on this side of the tree. That way, again, there's nothing on the ground, nothing close by to those thralls. And by setting the elevator to private, putting up some archers, fighters, some cheaper materials on the floors around the elevator and doorways, requiring people to actually pass through it, it makes that base pretty impermeable. It's not to say no one can get into it, but there's several ways to defend it. And if you're just playing PvE, to be honest, there's shows about tree houses. Who doesn't want to live in one? We've discussed a few areas in the Northlands, the possibility of building up in the south. Another area over here in the swamp that's not necessarily a tree house, but maybe can use some of the pre-existing areas, is over here at around 06. So further south, this large area here is actually where you'll fight the Witch Queen. Not only do most surfers kick you out for building there, certain game styles and map mods won't permit you to build there. And you could probably guarantee that you're going to upset some people building in those locations. But if you look further back behind this, going a little bit further west along this line, you're going to see several clusters where you can build at inside of buildings. One of those such buildings is the first map location I discussed, and you can literally build as high as you possibly choose. Keep in mind that too many foundations, too much going on is going to cause lag, even in a personal game. So I always suggest building up off the ground some. Once you get up, then all you need to do is set yourself up with an elevator, and you're good to go. Um, you can build all the way up to the very top and create one final trophy slash treasure room, whether you're in PvE or PvP, in case things below it and cheaper materials. That way, if you lose things, well, you still have a final bed that you can spawn at. Alright, so maybe you're not a fun in the sun sort of person and don't really care for getting sand down your shorts. Or maybe the jungle isn't the best for you and nor is swamp bud. Maybe you like it a little bit cooler, but you still want to see some pretty scenery and maybe even have a waterfall. So I'm over here at the wonderful world of C10, and you get kind of just that. Not only do you get these items, but you're near bears and where you can get some bear cubs. Right here, you'll find the towers where additional named thralls that don't spawn or aren't currently showing as spawning in this large northern city can also spawn through here. So in the past, I've built over here, and we had some pretty amazing Viking themed fishing villages, complete with gallows, modded out with thespians to sell goods, provide stories and quest lines. And it's a really fun location to build. Taking us into another aspect of not only how to get started, but should you purchase Conan Exiles in 2020? And I definitely have to say yes. With new expansions coming out sometime later this year, um, whether it's solo play, which is absolutely amazing for the caves, dungeons, instances, different stylizations that you can play, whether it's PvE or PvP. If you're playing on various servers with friends, there's even servers out there that provide heavy role playing, more adult themed content, mods that forever reinvent the game, um, even D&D style servers. This game is a phenomenal choice for anybody who's into MMORPGs, just pure survival games, or if you just want something that's a hack and slash, whether you're on PC, console, it's just really something fun that's continuously being reinvented by the community and the developers. So, with that said, hopefully you found some fun in this, some good points, and again, if you enjoyed the content, if there was anything here that helped you, feel free, smash that like button, subscribe, and as always, we'll be happy to have you as an extended family member in the Litterbox Gaming family. Later.